Hello friends, my name is Paulina. I'm a theologian and pastor serving the Polish congregation in Dudley. Today I want to invite you to pause with me for a moment and reflect on one of the most powerful stories Jesus ever told, the parable of the prodigal son, found in Luke chapter 15. Now many of us have heard this story so often that it can lose its edge. We might think it's just about a rebellious young man who made bad choices, but it's more than that. It's a story about love, a love that breaks through shame, cultural expectations, and even rejection. Jesus begins, there was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one comes to him and asks for his share of the inheritance. In our modern world, that might just sound like impatience. But in Jesus' culture, this was shocking. Inheritance was only given after the father's death. So the son's request is essentially saying, I want what you have, but I don't want you. It's a public rejection, not just of the father's authority, but of the relationship itself. And what does the father do? He gives it to him. No argument, no lecture. He lets him go. The son leaves, squanders everything, not just the money, but his dignity. Eventually, he finds himself feeding pigs. For a Jewish man, that was rock bottom, a place of moral and ritual impurity. But then something shifts. The son says to himself, I will return to my father. Not as a son, not with any sense of entitlement, just hoping maybe to be received as a servant. He doesn't know what kind of reception he'll get. And here comes the moment that still takes my breath away. Jesus says, while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. In that culture, dignified men didn't run. It was seen as undignified, even shameful. But this father runs. He doesn't wait. He doesn't demand an apology first. He doesn't hold back his affection. He restores him completely, with a robe, a ring, sandals, and a feast. Not a servant, a son. And in this picture, Jesus is revealing the heart of God, a father who waits, a father who runs, a God who moves toward us even when we've turned away. This isn't just a story about one young man's mistakes. It's a story about all of us, every heart that's ever wandered, doubted, or walked away. And the most beautiful part? It's not just that the son came home, it's that the father never stopped watching the horizon. In a world that often gives up on people, that crosses names off the list, this story tells us something different. There is someone who knows everything about you and still wants you back. Not because you've earned it, but because you're loved. If this story speaks to you, if you're wondering whether it's too late or whether you've gone too far, hear this. Love is still watching the road, and the Father is already running. Thanks for listening. And if you want to reflect more, ask questions, or just talk, feel free to reach out. You'll find my contact details in the description below this video. Until next time, stay close to the heart of the Father.